Welcome to Cathy's Eclectic Garden in Zone 6A in Northwest Ohio. I'm Cathy, and today I'll be talking about how I clean up my messick garden and get it ready for winter. Here in my messick garden I have two different varieties of Joe Pye weed, a shorter one here and a taller one a little further back. I've also got wild senna, and clear back to the back there's cup plant, and I've got tall ironweed. And I'm going to be cutting all of this back. The Joe Pye weed will be cut back to the ground. The wild senna, I'll check for hollow stems. Some of them are kind of large and will be hollow. There will be other ones that won't be hollow because they're not as big. So those will cut back to the ground. Also up in the front I've got some lavender and some agastache. The lavender will just be cut back to where there's old wood, and the agastache will be cut back to the ground. This is the wild senna, and this is a pretty hefty stem, so it will probably be hollow. So I'll cut it off about here. That's about 18 inches from the ground. And cut that, and yeah, that's going to be hollow when it dries out. So that's what I'll be doing with this now. Like this one here that I had already cut back because it was hanging back over the pathway, that one is not hollow. I'll take it back down to the bottom. Now this is my Joe Pye weed, and it does not have hollow stems. They're not very big hollow stems. And so I'm going to be cutting this back to the ground. Now I've got some plants in my back garden that I'm going to do chop and drop. I had one of my viewers explained to me how she does chop and drop, and I'm going to try that on a couple of my gardens, but this one I'm just going to be cutting this all back to the ground. So here's how we're going to be doing that. We'll just go right down as close as we can get to the ground, and we'll just chop that off. This is Munstead lavender. It still smells good, and I probably should have trimmed this a month ago, but I didn't think about it. So you don't want to cut your lavender all the way back to the ground or you'll kill it. So you just go down to where the new growth has started and just cut like that. And you just do that around the top of the plant until you get it all cut back. This is agastache, Blue Fortune, and I did not plant this here. It planted itself here, and it grew nicely, and it still smells good, but I'm going to take it down all the way to the ground. This is giant ironweed, and it got really tall this year. You can see how big the stems are, so those are definitely going to be hollow. So I will cut those about a foot off the ground, leave about a foot standing for the bees to make a home. This is sneezeweed, and I've already cut this one once because it was so tall and hanging out over the bridge here. So I'm going to cut it again. I'm going to cut it down to about a foot. This is the sneezeweed that I cut a month or so ago, and you can see that little hole right there. Now this one I just cut, so it's still green, so it hasn't hollowed out yet. When this starts dying back more and drying up like this one, there will be a hollow spot right here in this one too. Okay, this is one of the areas in my back garden where I'm going to do chop and drop. I have done chop and drop a little bit before. I wasn't sure I was doing it right, and I was afraid my perennials weren't going to come up through it. One follower that posted that she does chop and drop all the time, if I understood her right, she just takes her hedge trimmers and starts at the top and just chops off little bits at a time and lets them drop. And she said she's not had any trouble with her perennials not coming up. So that's what we're going to try. And if I'm doing this wrong, I'm sure she'll tell me. I hope so anyway. So we just start chopping like this. And just letting it, you just chop it and let it fall. That's why it's called chop and drop. Sometimes you might have to help it along a little bit. Chop it all the way to the ground, like that. This is one of 2 black hog viburnums that I have in my backyard. They are native to my area, and this one is really looking beautiful this year. But planted about 20-25 feet to the south is another one that's about half this size, and all of its leaves have dropped already. The only thing we can attribute that to is there is a black walnut tree about 20 feet from the other one. Hope you enjoyed this video and maybe learned a little bit about how to clean up your garden. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.